Okay, I think we are live. Yes. Right. Just give everyone a few minutes to come in and get situated. It's been a while, right, guys? Um, I did not expect to be back, actually. I did not expect to be back and doing this. Eh, because of coronavirus, I kind of had to stay in America. This was not the original plan, but I'm here, and I'm pretty sure everyone else is still here too. So we're just gonna keep on doing some lessons together. We'll be learning some Japanese words related to the classroom and greetings. And then we're going to look at a Bible verse, a short Bible verse in Japanese, break it down, and see how it's constructed. So today's lesson is very easy. We're going to get through lesson 1 of the Marugoto series. Okay. And Yui-san said she will not be watching today. So I'm flying solo. Okay. 日本語 Why don't we get started with vocabulary? おはようございます。教室の言葉1 Classroom language 1 Okay. 学生 This is a student, right? This could be any student, elementary school, middle school, high school, university, any person who learns something at an institution is a 学生, a student. And you'll notice the pronunciation がくせ. You're kind of elongating the e sound at the end. 学生, okay? 学生. And then we have the instructor or the teacher. 先生, 先生, right? 先生. Okay? You'll notice this little red mark here. It's kind of like a hook down. If you go from left to right, it's like a hook down. It's indicating that we are supposed to kind of fall near the end part of that word. Sensei, sensei. Okay. If you teach anything, you are a sensei. You could also use this word when you're talking with doctors or pastors, people who are a professional in their field and they are helping you out in some way. Sensei, sensei, just like that. We have the word for participant. If you're a participant in a class or some kind of show or whatever, you are called a 受講者. 受講者. Okay? 受講者. Not really a super common word, but good to know, I guess. The word for everyone, 皆さん. 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 Everyone, right? This means all the people, everybody. There's another word for everyone, みんな. みんな. There's two N's here. みんな. Okay? The difference between these two, 皆さん is a little more formal, polite, I would say, whereas みんな is a little more casual, a little less formal. You'll notice, I think I said it, 皆さんおはようございます. I said at the beginning of this lesson, you could use this to address the people you're talking to. 皆さん. Hi, みんな, right? Everyone. The word for friend or friends, right? Japanese doesn't really distinguish between plurals and non-plural words. Tomodachi. 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 Okay? Do you have tomodachi? Do you have many tomodachi? My brother, he has many tomodachi. It's crazy how many tomodachi he has. The person next to you, 隣の人. 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 隣の means neighboring, next to. and hito, person. In Japanese, often everything is backwards, right? So literally, this is next to person, next to person. Or in English, we'd say the person next to you. Tonari no hito, right? I don't have a tonari no hito right now. But if you're in a classroom or if you're watching online on a computer with someone next to you, that is your tonari no hito. Are they your tomodachi? We don't know. The word for school, 学校、学校、学校. There's two K's here, right? G-A-K-K-O-O. Whenever you have a double consonant like this, two K's, you kind of have to almost choke a little bit. Not really choke. It's more like your 学校, you're almost pausing and then firing. Pause and then fire, right? 学校, it's a little more harsher. 学校, right? And again, the double vowel here means we elongate the o sound. 学校, okay? School. This is really any school from elementary to high school is a 学校, right? Going over to the right here, the word for classroom, 教室, 教室, okay. 教室. I'm not in a classroom right now. I'm not in a 教室. But when you go to a 学校, you will most certainly enter a 教室, right? If you're talking about a class or a course or a school lesson, 授業. That's 授業. Okay? 授業. All right? Again, we are elongating this o sound. 授業. Okay? And that means a class or a course that you take. You could also say this word, クラス. クラス, which comes from the English word class, right? That's easy. クラス or 授業. And notice both of those words are actually falling, right, in pitch. 授業, クラス. Okay? If you're very picky about Japanese pitch accents, then this document really is great for Japanese pitch accent because it shows you if you're starting high and falling or if you're going up at any point, right? So these little red marks tell us, oh, we are falling here. 授業, クラス, right? You have an office or an office room, as they mentioned here. 事務所, 事務室, ごめん. 事務室. This is the word for an office room or an office area. 事務室, 事務室. Okay. The word for chair, now we're getting into some vocabulary of objects you might see in a classroom setting. The word for chair in Japanese, 椅子, 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 going up like that. The word for desk, 机, 机, okay. 机, 机 means desk. The word for pencil, 鉛筆, 鉛筆, 鉛筆. Do you have 鉛筆? Do I have 鉛筆? I don't have 鉛筆. I have, however, pen. I have pen. I have a pen. Right? Pen. That's an easy one. Comes straight from English. The word for eraser, 消しゴム, 消しゴム, 消しゴム. This word is actually a combination of two different words in Japanese. 消し comes from the verb 消す, to erase something. 消す becomes 消し. And then ゴム, which means like a rubber, rubber. So a rubber eraser, erase rubber is eraser, right? 消しゴム. Japanese word for a notebook. This is notebook is note. 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 Some people, I think, translate this as notes. In my experience, the English word notes is not the same as the Japanese word note. Okay? Note means specifically a book that you take your notes in. However, if you want to talk about a note that you've written down, oh, I've written a note. In Japanese, I'm pretty sure that's called memo. Memo. Like a memo, right? Same in English, memo. Memo. You could also say memocho for notebook. But anyways, just note that note in Japanese means an actual book that you take notes in. Okay? If you are using a dictionary, you want to use this word, 辞書. 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 Okay? The dictionary. There's actually a whole website called jisho.org, and it is a Japanese English-Japanese dictionary. Jisho. The word for a cell phone is 携帯電話. 携帯電話. Okay? 携帯 means like portable. 電話 is phone. So a portable phone, a cellular phone. Oftentimes, this is just shortened to 携帯. 携帯 meaning like a cell phone, right? 携帯. I have my 携帯電話. Actually, I'm watching my own Facebook live stream for the comments on it. The word for textbook, 教科書. 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 Right? And this is the 丸ごと教科書 textbook that we are using. 教科書. The word for page, as in the page of a book, ページ or page. Either way, ページ. Right? This is, in this document, page 7. And the word for 7 is 7 or 7, either one. 7ページ. 7ページ. 7ページか. Right? The word for computer, コンピューター. コンピューター. This is an easy one, right? It comes straight from English. コンピューター. コンピューター. I'm using a computer right now. The word for a whiteboard, ホワイトボード. ホワイトボード. This is very interesting. Sometimes when you see words that start with WH, like white, the Japanese will have ホワイト, ほ in front. I don't know why this happens, but it does. So the word for whiteboard is going to be then ホワイトボード. ホワイトボード. Alright? This is a ホワイトボード. And we will actually stop there when it comes to the vocabulary. So if you have, again, any questions with the vocabulary or with the lesson, please comment on this Facebook Live. And I'm watching it right now, so I'll try to get to it if I can. Okay? Again, 教室の言葉1, classroom language 1. I'm going to minimize this and go to our lesson. We are starting Marugoto series again from lesson 1. こんにちは. Right, this is the title, こんにちは. And I'm pretty sure all of us know what this means. Hello, right, in Japanese. Hello, or good afternoon, right? こんにちは. Okay. I'm going to go straight down here to some greetings, okay, and some farewells. If you're greeting someone in the morning, like situation 1, here we will say, おはようございます. Try saying this with me. おはようございます. Right? we'll break it down. おはようございます. Okay? I get this question a lot. There is a su at the end of this word, but we're not really saying the u sound, just the s sound. Okay? Do not say おはようございます. Don't say it like that. Say it like this. おはようございます. Just leave it on the S. This is the most natural way to say Japanese words that end, well, usually Japanese verbs that end in su. We just drop the u sound and it's おはようございます. Okay? If you say おはようございます, you will sound foreign. And it's not natural to say ございます, right? Unless you're trying to be funny. On purpose, then that would make sense. おはようございます is fine. Okay, what about good afternoon or just a general hello expression? That would be this one. こんにちは. 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 Right? こんにちは. If we're greeting someone in the evening or at night, こんばんは. こんばんは. Okay? こんばんは. Just a note, in Japanese, this is very interesting, because in English we don't really have this, but in Japanese you have different words or even whole different expressions that you will use depending on your politeness, depending on the formality, right? If you are talking to a sensei, if you're talking to an instructor or someone who is socially higher than you, who ranks socially higher than you, you should use more polite, more formal Japanese. If you are talking to someone who's the same age or younger than you, or if you're talking to a good friend, or if you're talking to a family member, you can speak informally. You don't have to be so polite, right? Most of the expressions that I will give you in this whole curriculum, in all of Marugoto, most of those expressions will be polite. They will be a little formal, a little proper Japanese because we want to be safe, right? We don't want to offend anyone. We want to be safe in every situation. You should start learning the formal kind of polite way first in Japanese, because once you master that, then you could handle pretty much any situation that comes to you. Eventually you will learn how to speak more informally, more casual, which you could use then with your friends and family members if you make any family members that speak Japanese, right? I say all this because look at おはようございます. おはようございます. This means good morning. This can actually be shortened to just おはよう. 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 That, however, is informal. That is casual. That's a casual way of saying good morning. I made this mistake when I was in college. I was at one university for learning Japanese first, and the sensei was an older woman. She didn't really care about formality. She wasn't strict, and she let us be informal or formal, whatever. She didn't care. So we just learned to say ohayo to her, this older Japanese woman. Ohayo sensei. That's not really appropriate in Japanese. And I didn't learn that until I got to my next university when I transferred. And my Japanese sensei there was much more strict. The classes were a lot like next level Japanese. And the sensei walked in. I will never forget this. My first day of Japanese class at that university. The sensei walked in and said, "Ohayo gozaimasu." Everyone else around me said, "Ohayo gozaimasu." And I said, "Ohayo," just like that. "Ohayo." And I'll never forget, the sensei stopped and he looked at me and said, "Ohayo gozaimasu." Like with a creepy smile. "Ohayo gozaimasu." And I knew, like, ohayou gozaimasu. Just like that. So be careful when you are speaking Japanese because you could offend some people. So if you want to be safe and polite, let's say ohayou gozaimasu, the whole thing, okay? If you're with a friend or family, you could say ohayo, ohayo, right? But with sensei or someone else, you don't really know so well. Ohayo gozaimasu, right? Konnichiwa, konbanwa, they don't have options. Those are, and you could say those to anyone. They don't have options like that. How about farewells? Let's talk about goodbyes. Sayonara. Sayonara means just goodbye. Standard goodbye. It's pretty formal. It's polite. That's good. However, we have a little less polite version. じゃあまた。じゃあまた。じゃあまた. There's actually a bunch of different ways to say bye-bye. じゃあまた is one informal way. However, I don't really hear that one so much. The one way I hear is this. じゃあね。じゃあね. じゃあね. You could also say またね. Or またな。またね。またな。じゃあね。じゃあまた. You might be wondering, what is mata? Mata means again. Okay? Mata, again. So, ja means, well then. Well then, okay. Bye. Just like that. That kind of feeling. Ja. Mata, again. And you're not really saying much in English if you just say, well then, again. But it means, right? It means, okay, let's see each other again sometime soon, right? じゃあまた。またね。じゃあね。またな. There's a bunch of informal ways to say goodbye. Ooh, and then we have some really formal stuff. お先に失礼します。お先に失礼します. Again, this su at the end. You do not say the u, just mas. Right? Let's try it one more time. お先に失礼します. What does that mean? Okay, when you are in a classroom with your sensei, or if you are at work in an office, right, with your boss, and you are leaving before them. If you are leaving before your superior, you will say this phrase, お先に失礼します. And maybe bow, right? You could bow to them. This is typical in Japan. お先に失礼します. And then you can leave, okay? Literally, this means before, like as in before you leave, right? 失礼します. I will be rude. And that's a literal translation. But what you're saying is, excuse me, I'm leaving now, right? I'm leaving now, excuse me, right? お先に失礼します. This is what you say to your boss or your sensei before you leave the classroom. And they could say in response, お疲れ様でした. 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 Okay? お疲れ様でした. お疲れ様. お疲れ様でした. There's other phrases they could say, but this is a common phrase, which you could translate to thank you for your hard work, or thank you for your work today, right? This is a common response to お先に失礼します. あ、お疲れ様でした. Just like that, okay? Typically, you'll hear this on your Japanese job. I'm going to scroll down very quickly to some more phrases. These are very useful phrases. Okay. ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます. Some of you probably already know what this means. Thank you very much, right? This is a polite way to say thank you. ありがとうございます. Right? When you're accepting something and you want to thank them. あ、ありがとうございます. Also, Also, when you're accepting things in Japanese, you could say, ah, sumimasen, right? If someone is giving me a water bottle, ah, sumimasen, right? Sumimasen, arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, these are two good phrases to use when you are accepting things in Japanese. Again, arigatou gozaimasu means thank you very much, right? Sumimasen is a very versatile expression in Japanese. It means excuse me or pardon me. Oh, I'm sorry, right? You are apologizing in Japanese. Ah, sumimasen. Okay, in Japanese, people are so polite that they apologize for accepting things. And the idea behind that is, oh, you went out of your way to give me something? I'm so sorry. Just like that, okay? すみません。ありがとうございます。すみません。ありがとうございます。Right? The person who is giving the item, right? If they're being told, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much." You could respond, "Ah, いいえ、いいえ." Right? いいえ. You'll notice the English here, it looks like an L-I-E. This is not the word lie, okay? This is a capital I, a lowercase I, and a lowercase e. In Japanese, いいえ, いいえ. All right? いいえ means no. No. いいえ. Okay? If someone is saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for troubling you. Thank you so much." You could give the item and simply say, "Ah, いいえ." Or there's also another way. "Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah." Which means, "Oh, no, no. It's no trouble." Right? No trouble at all. "Ah, いいえ." Yeah, yeah. Okay? Just like that. Again, giving and receiving culture in Japanese. Okay? Number 8, situation 8 here. If you are late, right? If you're late for your job or if you're late to class or whatever, you could come into the room and say, "Ah, sumimasen." Right? Apologize. Sumimasen. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, right? For being late. Sumimasen. And the boss could reluctantly look at his watch and say, "Yeah, yeah, it's okay, whatever." And he's not happy about it, but yeah, whatever. Sumimasen, right? So we could use sumimasen two ways here, right? We learned you could accept items with sumimasen, or you could apologize with sumimasen, right? Here is a third way. Situation 9, right here. Sumimasen. Sumimasen. Right? If you are at a restaurant and you want to get someone's attention, specifically the waiter, if you want to get the waiter's attention, you in Japan at least, you have to call the waiter to you. Sumimasen, right? You have to yell, kind of big voice. Sumimasen, okay? This means, "Oh, excuse me, right? In America, this is kind of rude. We don't do this in America. In Japan, it is totally okay. It is totally fine to call out a waiter or a server in a restaurant, and you should do it. You're expected to do it. If you just walk in a restaurant and you expect the waiter or waitress to come to your table automatically, it happens in the beginning, but that's really just to get you seated and maybe give you a hand towel or a water, okay? But after that first interaction, you have to call them. If you don't call them, they won't come, okay? Sumimasen, right? And the waiter or waitress will come by and say, "Hai," right? "Hai" is the opposite of "iie," okay? "Iie" means no. "Hai" means yes. Yes, right? The waiter comes by. Yes. Hai. Just like that. So we have 3 situations so far. Sumimasen could be used for many, many situations, but here are 3 situations where you could use this very versatile phrase, sumimasen. Sumimasen. Oh, すみません。すみません. Right? There's many different ways that we could use すみません. Okay? And I want to point something out. Look at this picture here, B. You'll notice two probably Japanese men bowing to each other. Bowing is a thing in Japan, not just Japan, in Asia, right? Korea, China, everyone bows. And honestly, I prefer bowing to handshakes because with bowing, you don't have to touch other people. So bowing, yes. The general rule is the lower you bow, the more respect you are bestowing upon the other person or whatever. Okay? If we were in the classroom, if we were back in the church, Miami church, every Saturday, I would have us do activity 3, greet each other in Japanese. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. So what I'm going to do instead is play a video. We have our lovely videos that we use every time. And you know what? I'm going to show you how to get these videos at home. So if you're distance learning at home, go to this website, a1.marugotoweb.jp. And you know what? I will go there with you, a1.marugotoweb.jp. This is the normal Zoom. Okay, so this is the home page here. We are doing topic 1, lesson 1, and I'm going to do can do 1, exchanging greetings. Okay, so here are the videos, all right? I'm going to check English so you guys can see the English. And we're going to play this video. I'm going to zoom in because I know it can be, oh my. Zoom out a little bit. I know it can be difficult to see. Turn up the volume. Okay. And you know what? I'm even going to full screen this. There we go. All right. Let's listen to the video. In the morning, meeting a neighbor.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。ああ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。こんばんは。
こんばんは。
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 Japanese tea ceremony. Okay.
先生、ありがとうございました。さようなら。
はい、さようなら。お先に失礼します。お先に失礼します。お疲れ様でした。
Okay, so there were a bunch of situations here, a bunch of situations where you could use different greetings or farewells. You'll notice that the first 4 or 5 situations, 2 people just came together and said, "Ohayou gozaimasu, ohayou gozaimasu," and then they walked away. And another situation, they came together, "Konnichiwa, konnichiwa," and then they walked away. That's not really so normal in real life, right? But for the purposes of this lesson, they were just demonstrating different greetings you can use at different times of day, okay? Again, if you want to watch these on your own time at home, you have that freedom with this website. I'm going to take off the English. See if you can figure out what they're saying. Which expression are they using without the English? And I'm also going to turn off Romaji as well.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。ああ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。こんばんは。
こんばんは。
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 先生、ありがとうございました。さようなら。
はい、さようなら。
These are coworkers, by the way.
お先に失礼します。お先に失礼します。お疲れ様でした。
Okay, yeah. Let's look at this one. I will include the English. These are coworkers, I believe, yeah. Yep, to a colleague.
川崎先生、どうぞ。ありがとう。いいえ。
All right, so here's some phrases we did not particularly look at before. Let's go over this. To a colleague.
川崎先生。
Kawasaki sensei. Kawasaki is the name. Sensei, right, is professor, teacher, whatever. That's her title. She is a instructor of some kind. Dozo. Dozo. This is a good phrase. This means dozo. This is a phrase you use when you're giving something. It could translate as, here you go, right? Here you are. Dozo. Kawasaki sensei, dozo.
どうぞ。
Arigato. Right, she's using the shorter arigato instead of arigatou gozaimasu, right? Arigatou gozaimasu is very formal. Normally you want to use to your boss, people above you, whatever. These two are coworkers. They are the same level, and maybe they've worked together for a long time, so they know each other pretty well. Just saying the informal arigato is fine.
ありがとう。いいえ。
And again, we'll finish with iie, meaning no, it's no problem. Don't mention it. Let's try this one. すみません。
はい。
ハンカチ落としましたよ。
すみません。
いいえ。すみません。すみません。
always funny.
すみません。
はい。
教室は、ああ、
Oh my goodness, I love the actors and the acting in these videos. They're so amazing. So you could see three different ways. Yeah, there's three different ways to use sumimasen. Actually, the third way here is not the third way we discussed in the textbook, right? The first one was to get someone's attention. Oh, actually, yeah, I guess they're all the same. If you're getting someone's attention, like a waiter, or if you're getting someone's attention who dropped their wallet on the side of the street, right? Ah, すみません, right? 財布落としましたよ, or whatever she said. You dropped your wallet. すみません. Actually, the word she used was right? which means, excuse me. Now, the man who dropped his wallet, he's the one who said すみません. That's right. He said, すみません. I'm sorry, right? To trouble you. And she said, いいえ. Don't mention it, right? Situation two, two people bumped into each other. すみません, すみません. And they walked away. Like, that was it. And in this situation, we are again getting someone's attention. すみません. すみません. Excuse me. Hello, すみません. Hello, right? Just like that. Whenever you want to get someone's attention, a polite way of doing that is すみません. Okay? Let us go down to the let's try video. The let's try video. These are always fun. Let's listen. You're going to your Japanese class, greet your teacher and friends.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
おはよう。
おはよう or おはようございます. Okay? Again, try that at home on your own. The website, again, a1.marugotoweb.jp. And you want to navigate to lesson or topic one. Topic one. Let's see, I'm going to go back for you. Lesson one, can do one. Okay? We are starting at the very beginning. So there are those videos for you. Try them on your own. Use these expressions, okay? And if you're serious about learning Japanese, I always recommend make flashcards of some kind. They could be paper, physical flashcards, they could be digital flashcards, doesn't really matter. Very quickly, not sure how much time we have. I want to talk about Japanese writing systems. So there are three basic writing systems you could think of them like alphabets, right? There are three different alphabets, three different writing systems for Japanese. We have hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Okay? Hiragana is kind of curvy, simple shapes, simple characters, right? Katakana over here is pretty much all the same sounds, right? So hiragana and katakana, they make sounds. Each character stands for a sound. Now the length of hiragana characters and the length of katakana characters are the same. It's basically copy-pasted alphabets. They're called syllabaries, actually. However, katakana tends to be a little more angular, okay? Simple characters, simple shapes, but angular. Whereas hiragana is often described as curvy and kind of elegant, I guess. Kanji, however, kanji are characters that stand for meanings, okay? They stand for concepts, not sounds. They have sounds, but there are so many characters and they stand for concepts. So like these characters here, 1, 2, 3. You just have to memorize how to say these, but you know the meanings. The meaning is pretty intuitive, right? This actually means 1. This character means 2. This character means 3. All right, you could see how that works. Japanese also utilizes numbers, regular Arabic numerals that we use in English, and Japanese people learn the Roman lettering system, so, right? ABCDs. Japanese people also learn those, and if you want to give it a name, it's called Romaji. Romaji. This comes from Rome, and then Ji means character. So Roman characters, right? A, B, C, D. Okay, we're not gonna really go through these activities. You could do it if you want on your own, pause the video or what have you. Find which one is hiragana, which one's katakana, which one is kanji. Okay, same here. That's pretty much the end of the lesson. For the remainder of this video, I want to go over a Bible verse. This is a Christian organization, Japanese Christian community of Miami. So we're going to quickly look at a Bible verse in Japanese. And some of you might be very intimidated. Oh my goodness, we're reading the Bible in Japanese. Don't worry. I'm going to make it very simple for you. And I'll type everything out. We're only going to look at one verse. The particular verse today is 1 John 4:16. 1 John 4:16, and I'll type it, you know what, I will type it in Romaji for you. Let's see. 私たちは、私たちは、私たちに、対する神、の愛を、we'll leave it as WO 知り、また信じています。信じています。This is the first part of the verse. Okay, this verse is broken down into 2 parts. Here's the first part. It's one sentence. 私たちは私たちに対する神の愛を知り、また信じています。Okay, I'm just going to pick out some of the words here. 私 means me or I. When you add tachi, it makes it plural, so us, right? Or we. 私たち we は Okay, wa tells us what the topic is of our sentence. 私たちは So as for us, right? As for all of us. 私たち again, us or we. に対する Okay, so this is one whole phrase. に対する meaning towards or to. And again, everything in Japanese is a little backwards. So towards what? Towards us. Okay, this is one whole phrase, one whole set unit, one little element right here. 私たちに対する So to us, what? 神 means God. So this is a word you'll see a lot in the Bible, right? Kami is God. No connects one noun with another noun. So kami no, so God's what? God's ai. This is a good word. Ai. Ai means love. Okay? Kami no ai. Kami no ai means God's love, right? His love. Kami, God's, no, love, ai. Okay? Again, we have to go a little backwards here. So the love of God toward us. Do you see that? We're going backwards. The love of God towards us. In Japanese, everything is literally backwards. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. As for us, the love of God towards us. Then we have O. Now I wrote it as W-O in Romaji because that's typically how this character is written in Romaji. But you don't say the W, okay? Just, and you know what? I will put it in parentheses, okay? You just say O. All right? O. And actually, you know what? It's probably easier if I just do it like this, okay? And I'm going to make this not bold so it's easier. Okay, 私たちは, so as for us, the love of God towards us, and then O. What does O do? O marks the object of a verb, okay? So what is the verb here? The verb comes at the end, always at the end of a expression, of a phrase in Japanese. Shiri. Shiri is a conjunctive form of the verb shiru, which means to know. So what are we saying here? We're saying we know. We know what? We know the love of God towards us. Okay? And if you know what? This works very well with the English translation. The English translation of this verse starts out like this. So we have come to know and to believe, we haven't gotten to that part yet, the love that God has for us. Okay, that's the first part of this verse. And we've pretty much, we're almost done, right? We've come to know, actually this verb shiru actually means come to know, or come to learn of, come to know. And believe, actually this next part is the last part of the Japanese that we haven't gotten to yet. Let's do it. Mata. Ah, mata. We talked about this in today's lesson earlier, right? Mata means again, or in some cases could mean and, or as well as, right? As well as this, okay? Shinjite is a conjunctive form of shinjiru, to believe, right? Believe, and then imasu, to be. So we are believing as well as knowing. Knowing what? The love of God towards us. So let's try it all together. 私たちは私たちに対する神の愛を知り、また信じています。Okay, you just read in Japanese the first part of 1 John 4:16. So we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. And this last part, the last part of the verse, I'll do it in English. First, God is love. Amen. God is love. And whoever abides or lives, right, in love, abides or lives in God. And God abides or lives in him or her, right? Anybody. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. Okay? In Japanese, that second part of the verse, the second part I'll do down here, goes like this in Romaji. Let's see. 神は愛です。神は愛です。Okay, so this, we should know like pretty much all these words. Kami, God. Wa marks him as the topic of our conversation here. Kami wa. So as for God, I, right? We talked about this earlier. I means love. Des. Des you tack on to mean like it is, or they are, or he is, I am, right? This is the verb of being, I guess. Kami wa ai desu. God is love. Kami wa, des means is, I means love, right? So it's a little jumbled up from English. Kami wa ai desu. And then 愛にとどまる人は愛にとど とどまる人は神のうちにとどまり、神のうちにとどまり。Okay? 神もその人のうちにとどまってくださいます。くださいます。くださいます。くださる。くださいます。Yeah, okay. Alright, so we just did the first sentence. 神は愛です。God is love. 愛に、so, okay. Oh, why did I put in? 愛に. So love, に by itself usually means in or at. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be in. とどまる, and I'm going to go kind of fast because I'm running out of time. とどまる means to abide in, to rest in, to live in, right? To stop in. So, 人, let's move on. 人, person, は. Again, the topic. So, as for the person who abides in love, so as for the person who abides in love, 神の, so God's うち. うち means inside. So inside of God or within God. Ni, again, ni means at when it's by itself. とどまり, the same verb up here. とどまる, it's in a conjunctive form. とどまり, right? We're continuing the phrase. So let's stop here and just backtrack. 愛にとどまる人は, so as for the person who is in love, 神のうちにとどまり. God's inside, they abide, right? They abide in the inside of God. In English, right, the more English way is saying, God is love. And whoever abides in love abides in God, right? In Japanese, you're very specific. We are abiding inside of God. 神のうちにとどまり. 神も, so God, も means also, right? So also, God, その means that, 人, person. So that person, のうち, the inside, うち, right? The inside of that person, に at or in, so in the inside of that person, とどまって, again, same verb, to abide in, right? To live in, とどまってくださいます. Amen. くださいます comes from くださる, which basically you could add this onto a verb, which we did, とどまる, to abide in, and it makes it formal. It makes it kind of polite. Like God is doing something for us. Oh, thank you, God. And you're saying it politely. くださいます. Okay? とどまってくださいます. So he lives inside of us for us. Thank you, God, right? Let's go through this from the beginning in all ローマ字. 私たちは私たちに対する神の愛を知り、また信じています。神は愛です。愛にとどまる人は神のうちにとどまり、神もその人のうちにとどまってくださいます。Okay, I'm sorry if I read that very quickly, but I have no more time. So if you want to try your hand at this verse again, feel free to re-watch this video, pause, go at your own pace. But we are done, guys. Thank you. We got through lesson 1 in Marugoto, and I think from now on we will also include a short scripture translation. We'll be breaking down the Japanese version, and we'll take a look at the English version to compare. Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We'll probably see you next week online again. As always, keep up to date on our Facebook page as well as our WhatsApp group. Okay? See you. Bye-bye.